Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Lynn, and today I'm going to have a demonstration on how to make my vegan spicy cheese sauce, and then I'm going to show you how to make one of the other recipes in my book, the spicy black bean and sweet potato burritos. And then I'm going to show you how simpler I can make a volume of vegan bean burritos that I put in the freezer that are really great when you don't want to cook and you want to just pull something out of the freezer or take something for lunch, and you can just heat it up in a microwave. So the very first thing in making the cheese sauce is, it's on page 190 in my book, Plant-Based Recipes and Meal Options, is I take 3/4 cup of cashew pieces, and I've had these soaking for a little bit, but I soak them usually 5 minutes in a 1/2 cup of water in my Vitamix. And then I've got a 1/2 cup of roasted peppers, and these the roasted peppers that come in a jar. Then I have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I've got 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 3 teaspoons of nutritional yeast. And that will give it, the nutritional yeast gives it a wonderful cheesy flavor. So we're just going to blend this up to get started. That's it. If the cashews are soaked, they're very soft, and this is a very flavorful cheese sauce that you can use for any burrito bowl over a baked potato. We're going to use it inside the mixture of black beans and things that we're going to use for our burritos that we're going to make. So I'm just going to set it aside here. And I'm going to show you how to make the bulk ones that are not a recipe, but it's something that I make all the time to use to have for lunches. It's really important that you have a nice non-stick, this is a ceramic non-stick frying pan. I used maybe a teaspoon of oil. You don't need to use oil. I had a whole onion. And the next thing I'm going to add is a bag of the Boca Burger crumbles. Now I let this thaw out a bit. I'm going to turn this back on. Everything we're putting together here is already cooked except for the onion. So that's why I did it first. And then I'm going to add, well, the corn's not cooked, but it really, it's just a bag of super sweet corn. So I've turned this on. Then I've got some chopped olives. I've got a little teaspoon of cumin and chili powder. I've got a 1/2 cup of salsa. And I have 2 cans of black beans. So I am going to mix all that up. here. You could, if you want, add cilantro. And then I'm going to add, I'd say about a cup of the cheese sauce. And I'm going to stir it in. So that the mixture sticks together a little bit, and you can taste it. You can add more salsa, whatever works for you in order to make it really spicy or not. I have not added any salt to this. You could add a little seasoned salt if you wanted to. So I'm going to leave that and then show you. That's the filling that I make. And the second recipe, which is on page 94, the spicy black bean and sweet potato burritos, is another filling that I wanted to show you. So in another frying pan, I sauteed onion, a few garlic cloves, and I added a can and a half of the black beans and some chili powder, cumin, salsa, and then just basically cooking the onions. And prior to that, I took a large garnet yam and I peeled it like a potato, cut it up in small pieces with a tiny bit of water and cooked it. And now I'm just going to mash it with a potato masher. And this recipe is unique because the combination of the very spicy black beans and the sweet potato in the burrito makes a very unique flavor combination. So what I do is I take a little bit of the sweet potato, spread it on, put on black beans, put on my cheese sauce, and in my book I talk about diet cheese. If you don't have time to do the cheese sauce or you don't have it, this is a good alternative. It's called Diet cheddar style shreds, and you could use those on here and it will melt. And it's very similar. It's expensive. I think it's much easier to make the cheese sauce. So then what I do is roll it in on the sides and then roll it up. And then you have a burrito. What I do with this whole thing is take my ice cream scoop and I scoop a scoop on there, and all the flavor should be in the middle. So we've got the cheese sauce mixed in, whatever. You could add cilantro if you wanted to. You could add other things. You could add other vegetables, whatever you want. You could even add cooked rice in there. So then I roll them up, fold the ends in, and roll them up. I take a piece of saran wrap. It's the kind of thing you can do when you're watching something on TV or whatever and you just have a half an hour to do it. Then I just roll them up, and then I lay them out, and I put them on a tray and freeze them, and then I put them in a Ziploc bag, and they're in the freezer when you want to have them anytime you want. The other thing I wanted to show are these organic taco sliders. These are wonderful. If you have any kind of a mixture, whether it's the sweet potato, the mixture, you can just warm these up in the microwave with a towel around it, and then just fill it up, put what you want in it, all kinds of sprouts, anything you want, cilantro, and these are great to put in the freezer. So hopefully that's helpful to show you there's many different ways to make burritos, and it's this will make, there's 10, I get these at Natural Grocers, the whole wheat tortillas. There's 10 in here, and I usually do 20 at a time. You don't want to put too much filling in, that's why you want it to be flavorful. So that's my just information to help you so that you don't have to cook all the time and you can have them in the freezer. And so hopefully that was helpful.